Hello and good evening, friends, and welcome to this very special program of improving the critical thinking ability. So this is called the mental gym. The rule of the games are very simple. You have to answer the question. The questions are related to general knowledge, science, discovery, history, movies, political science, etc. So you have to respond to the question within 60 seconds. um, well, 30 seconds are sufficient for you to think quickly and know the answer, and next 30 seconds for you to basically type in your message and send it to us. So we have given 60 seconds. So without further ado, let us start the game. And the first question is, in the year 1390, first trial for witchcraft were conducted in which city? And the time starts. Well, the art of witchcraft was utterly misunderstood back in the days, and anything scientific or anything that new out of the box people were doing, general public, ignorant people were thinking that this is related to witchcraft. So, therefore, people have a lot of apprehension, and they actually started trying them and giving them punishment to people who are doing all these kind of things. So, what is the answer? The answer was Paris, because the first trial for any witchcraft were held in city of Paris. And let's see who have been able to give the answer. So far I didn't see any response from anyone. Nobody has been able to give this answer. So let's quickly move to the next question. And this is about in 1904, first intercity trucking service started between which cities? First intercity trucking service. And the time starts. Well, in the year 1904, the trucking company were just forming, because the automobile industry was also in a very nascent stage. So therefore, some people got the bright idea. They got together and they started the trucking service. And it started between the city of Colorado and Snyder in Texas. The first trucking company in the world started between these two cities. I have not got any answer. So let's quickly move to the next question. In the year 1922, Italian King Victor Emmanuel III appoints who as the Prime Minister of Italy? And the time starts. Well, in 1920, Italy was a totally different place. It was not, it was getting into fascism. So answer should have been very easy for this question. So the answer is Benito Mussolini. Benito Mussolini is the major character, partnered with Hitler, was part of the Axis power, and they, together with Germany, fought against the Allies. And therefore, you know, uh, uh, the Hitler is known as Nazi, and so is Mussolini, who is known as fascist. No answer. So let's proceed to the next question. In the year 1929, why October 29 is infamous and also known as Black Tuesday? And the time starts. Well, so for people who actually understand the world history and how things unfolded before the Second World War, they would know the answer. So let's go to the answer first before I say anything. This is related to the worldwide market crash. Started with the Wall Street stock market crash, which actually started a Great Depression, and it was a era of major slowdown globally, major slowdown, much worse than what we see today. And therefore, if you see the old movies, they always show people wearing, especially Charlie Chaplin. He actually depicts the condition prevalent at that time, wearing a suit, but all the pockets are torn and the clothes are shabby and dirty. So let's find out who have been able to give the answer. And that is Edify Learning. Your answer is absolutely right. All right, let's move to the next question. In the year 1954, which Egyptian leader disbands the Muslim Brotherhood? We know that Muslim Brotherhood is one of the major organization which many countries and including United States term them as terrorist organization. But which Egyptian leader disband or sort of banned the Muslim Brotherhood in the year 1954? The time. So, for many people who do not know the history and the background of Muslim Brotherhood, the whole idea is to basically establish a Muslim rule worldwide. They originated from Egypt. However, this leader from Egypt themselves banned this organization, and he was a leader of the Egyptian country. Let's find the answer first. It is the Colonel Gamal Abdel Nasser. He was the president of Egypt, and the country where it originated themselves banned this organization. Now let's find the answer. Edify Learning, your answer is absolutely right. Okay, so let's move to the next question. In the year 1958, who was the first doctor to perform a coronary angiogram? Coronary angiogram. And the time. Well, friends, the coronary angiogram is also known as angiography today, and it is available across all hospitals. What happens is that you actually insert a catheter from an artery and send that catheter to mostly to heart and also to kidneys to find out if there are any blocks. So it was a revolutionary procedure, and there is X-ray, but there are always limitation where if the doctor can see what exactly is wrong with which artery by sending a catheter inside the body, it is the best thing. So let's find the answer. It is Dr. F. Mason Sones, and let's see if anybody has been able to give the answer. I haven't got any answer. You had 60 seconds to respond. No response on this question. So let's move to the next one. In 1959, Asterix, the popular cartoon character, was first published in which magazine as a strip? And the time starts. Well, friends, if you are a fan of Asterix, then you know that the Asterix is such a fantastic character. The character actually was characterized in the era where the Romans were attacking the France, and but the problem they show in the comic strips are the modern day problem. So it is really amazing to read Asterix, really a fantastic picturization, and also the dialogues and everything is so great. So let's find the answer for this question. The French magazine called Pilot, and Asterix as a character was created by Rene, and illustrations which are remarkable were created by Albert Underzu. And if you're a fan of Asterix, then you know these names because they are printed on all Asterix magazine. The first magazine to carry the Asterix strip was Pilot, a French magazine? No answer. So let's move to the next question. In 1960, Cassius Clay, also known as Muhammad Ali, during his first professional fight beats which fellow boxer? Time starts. So, friends, Muhammad Ali is very popular. You know, Muhammad Ali is a heavyweight, unbeaten champion. His record was broken by Mike Tyson later on. But during a professional fight, who was the first fellow boxer who Muhammad Ali defeats? And the answer is the Tani Hunsaker, and he won the bout over 6 rounds, and basically the victory of Muhammad Ali was announced on the basis of points. And no right answer. Edify Learning, unfortunately your answer is not right. So let's move to the next question quickly. In the year 1964, the United Republic of Tanganyika and Zanzibar was renamed as what? Time start. Okay, so people who have traveled to Africa, they will know exactly where these two locations are. Let's find the answer first. It is the United Republic of Tanzania. Well, if you know the history of this land, the Zanzibar was actually owned by uh, the Arab country. I think it was Saudi, and not really a country. The Sheikh over there really owned the island of Zanzibar, which was invaded by Tanzania and included in their own territory. So this was rather difficult question. So no answer. Let's move to the next one. In 1982, car maker John DeLorean indicted for which crime? You know DeLorean car? I will tell you more about it, but first, the time starts now. Well, we all know DeLorean. DeLorean is a car which was used in Back to the Future, the time machine. Well, DeLorean was a very fine engineer, and he was not happy with the cars which were being produced in the 70s and 80s, and he thought that he can actually produce a novel car which will never break down and which will never be spoiled, and therefore he quit his job in premium car manufacturing company, started his own company with the name of DeLorean, and he actually produced a car made of entirely stainless steel. That means rust proof. In fact, since the car was made of stainless steel, there was no need to paint it also, and he actually produced these cars. But then selling any product is a totally different ball game, and to make the company successful uh, requires a different marketing and sales mind, and usually the technical folks who may be very smart and brainy in producing quality product, but then they fail as a business people. This exactly the same thing happened with DeLorean. So when the company got into trouble, he got into some alleged underground activities, and therefore he was convicted. Let's find that out. What was the conviction? It was a drug trafficking. It is alleged that he used to ship uh, the cars to United States from UK, and some of the cars were filled with drugs. So he actually participated in some sort of drug cartel business in order to raise funds. So a bad story. His company got completely derailed. Even though DeLorean car lived on, was made popular by the Hollywood movies as an unbreakable product. Product was fantastic, but the company failed, and DeLorean also had to suffer the consequences. However, these charges were never proved, and he was later, released from these charges. All right, let's move to the next question. In the year 2008, name the 22nd James Bond film starring Daniel Craig and Olga Kurylenko. Simple answer. Time start. I am a big fan of James Bond, and I want to know if you are a fan of James Bond. If you are, then you should have given the answer to this. This question is a very simple one, and it's one of the best movie of James Bond with a lot of action, and they actually show the negative side of Bond. You know what Bond can do. So let's find the answer first. It is the Quantum of Solace. Amazing movie. I mean, if you like the action, the Quantum of Solace provided all kinds of daredevil action in this movie, and Daniel Craig and Olga played amazingly well. Uh, and this therefore this movie was very popular. And this was a movie which just came out as a second slot of the first Daniel Craig movie. Uh, and this was the aftermath of the first story. So let's move on to the next question, because otherwise I will keep talking on Bond. In the year 2015, which country announces the end of their one child policy after 35 years? And the time starts now. Well, answer to this question is very simple because we all know as a global citizen that which country implemented single child policy, and the country is China. Of course, this was a easy answer. And finally, they rolled back this executive order and they said, no, 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 we don't want any one child policy. You can have as many child as you want, simply because they had a social issue because of one child policy, and now the economic issue is also coming and hitting that country. So that was the reason to remove this one child policy. Let's move to the next one. In the year 2018, far right politician Jair Bolsonaro wins Brazil presidential election, defeating which candidate? So people who are watching me from South America should know the answer and the time. Well, we all know that Bolsonaro was a far-right leader, and during the pandemic, he was the president of Brazil, and many things happened. Finally, he lost the election in the next election. However, the people actually chose him because he was from the military, and he was fighting a very popular leader whom he defeated. Let's find the answer. It is Fernando Haddad. That is the candidate, well-established politician, which Bolsonaro defeated. Uh, Now let's move to the next question since I didn't get any answer from anyone. In the year 2020, which country records more than 8 million COVID cases? The second country after US to declare death toll of 120,000 people. Which was this country? And times. Well, friends, all citizens of the world have seen very, very terrible time during the COVID era. There were three phases, and we still do not know whether COVID is still gone or still, kind of changing over and may attack us again. We do not know. Let's keep our fingers crossed. But it is important to know that a country which actually recorded the highest COVID infection, and the country was India, of course. Well, India is a democratic country, so all the figures and facts were openly declared. But I personally believe that China would have got many, many times more cases than India, especially there. We do not know what goes on behind that curtain and the censorship that China has. So let's move on to the next question if there are still more questions. Okay, so we have come to the end of our mental gym quiz today. Thanks for joining me live, and I will catch you again very soon. Until then, keep rocking, keep smiling, and let us take the journey of developing our critical thinking ability together. See you for now.